This is the other gun that you'll see a lot of. This is the Benjamin Maximus. It has a BMN breech, and I posted a few videos where I modified the valve with some Magnum air power. I said it wrong in the video. The company's actually Magnum air power. It has 2,400 pound springs, so you can pump the gun up to 2,400 psi. It has a small Marauder poppet in the valve, smaller poppet, a light spring inside the valve, and I originally set the gun up. I had a Magnum spring inside of it, and the gun was way too hot. Like, one of the biggest things you need if you're going to play with one of these guns is a chronograph. You got to have a chronograph, because when you shoot your shot string, you can tell that you'll definitely know you got too much spring for the gun, because the gun will shoot like 4 or 5 shots, and then the power would just dive off by like 100 feet, 200 feet per second. On the 6th or 7th or 8th or 9th shot, it would just crash because it was dumping too much air with each shot. I actually took the Magnum spring out, and I had put a light spring. I think it was 01 or something like that. And at the end of the day, that turned out, even with a power adjuster, Magnum, that's a Magnum air power adjuster, the small one. With that cranked all the way in, you had to crank it all the way in to get the gun up to power. You had to crank it all the way in. And talking to some guys, the more prelude you have on the spring, the less efficient the gun is. So the lighter spring, a heavier spring with less prelude, dumps less air and is more efficient than a lighter spring with more prelude. So now I have the medium spring. If you want the medium spring, you gotta go to the Magnum air power and get the medium spring. I'm not sure the wire size. I think it's a 3.5, 0.35 or 0.34 is the medium spring. It's the middle one. Now the gun's shooting right around 30 foot-pounds with 18.52 grain Barracuda Hunter Extremes. And this gun has liked the Barracuda Hunter Extremes from the day I got it. When it was stock, it shot them the best. When I had the gun shooting way too much power and all jacked up and shooting wrong, it still shot these Barracuda Hunter Extremes very accurate. No matter what I put, no matter what the gun was adjusted at, it always shot these pellets very accurate. It also likes the Barracuda Hunters, just the regular plain old ordinary, Barracuda Hunters. It likes them, but it really likes these the best, the Barracuda Hunter Extremes. And on recent shooting and testing and hitting a big groundhog with one of them and a big groundhog with one of them, you really can't tell the difference in the expansion. Now when you shoot them in a water bucket, the Barracuda Hunter expand a lot more than the Barracuda Hunter Extreme. But in actual shooting and game, groundhogs, for the most part so far in the head, they both expand the same. There's really no difference. You really can't tell the difference. This one expands to about almost a 30 caliber, and this one expands to almost a 30 caliber. So, and this one tends to penetrate a little bit better than this one when you shoot a groundhog in the head. Now, when squirrel season starts, we'll see what happens with the squirrels, but right now we're going to stick with the Barracuda Hunter Extremes for hunting groundhogs. And we're getting ready to punch a few numbers through the chroning and let you see what it does in the chronograph.